Okay, so this is the second time I've filmed this video, but I rambled so much yesterday that I went to edit it and I was like, that is so rambly, I need to like be a bit more specific here. So I have some notes and that's gonna make it easier and stop me from rambling, because these videos, because I leave so much time in between when I film them, I talk so much about everything that's going on with my hair that it just ends up being a video of me ranting and rambling on and on and on about my hair and all the different things. So I'm going to try my hardest to make this as easy to understand and go through everything that I've been doing. Now I have been 6 months no poo, so let's get into it. So before I go into what I'm doing now, I just want to give a little bit of a brief sort of summary of the last 6 months. If you haven't watched my other videos, then I will link them up here, whichever side it is, I never remember, because I've filmed an update video pretty much every single month and I've shown you the journey. My hair has grown so much and you can see that it's starting to grow back. I have so many baby hairs that I didn't have before, and they're getting kind of long because obviously those hairs were broken and they're growing back. I think that's also partly because I've grown my fringe out in the time and I've stopped using straighteners on my fringe. But yeah, my hair has changed so much. Maybe I'll put a photo here of what it was like in the start of no poo 6 months ago. I haven't had a haircut since, and this is where I'm at. So I started using a soap nut shampoo, and then I think I tried different things like rye flour and what other things did I try? I don't think I tried too many things. I think I tried rye flour, soap nut shampoo, maybe another method, and I was kind of experimenting, and then I just completely went into water only because I wanted to try it out and I thought, why not? I did that for quite a long time, maybe 2 months, and then I went back into using apple cider vinegar on my hair as a rinse. It didn't cleanse my hair though. I was under the impression for a long time that it was kind of a way to wash and condition my hair, but apple cider vinegar doesn't cleanse your hair, and my hair was still oily even though I'd been no poo for like 4 or 5 months. So I stopped using the apple cider vinegar, and I think that brings us up to my last update on my hair, and I had just finished using the apple cider vinegar as a rinse and I was moving on to using a chickpea flour shampoo to cleanse my hair. There's my cat. Because up until that point I hadn't been using anything to cleanse my hair, and my hair was still getting kind of greasy and I was dealing with white flakes and dandruff. So that brings me to today, and today I'm using something totally different again, because the chickpea flour, while it cleansed my hair and worked great in that sense, it didn't make my hair very soft. So I have started to use a mixture of shikakai, amla and neem powders, and I have been doing this for maybe a month or so, and it's definitely my favourite method so far. I love the look of my hair. I love that it is wavy and it feels thick and soft. Like the whole of no poo, I've experienced a lot of different textures of hair, a lot of tacky hair, waxy hair, drier hair, greasier hair, and finally my hair resembles that of what I remember when I used to use conventional shampoo and conditioner, and that's kind of comforting to me because it feels like I'm cleansing my hair and I'm conditioning it, because that is what these natural powders do for your hair without stripping your hair too much and without having any other sort of silicone or sulfates or any other damaging chemicals that will hinder hair growth and just make your hair fried. So yeah, I will show you what it is that I'm using now. I'm using these 3 things. They did come in packages, but I put them in these little jars to make my life a lot easier. So I have shikakai powder, which is this one here, and neem powder, and amla powder. And what I do is I make them into a tea and then I put it in this water bottle. So the mix that I use is I basically get these powders. The shikakai powder they're all fruit powders, and they're all Indian fruit powders. They're from a brand called Hesh. I'll link it in the description if you want to get it. It's really cheap. All 3 of them I think cost around a tenner. So this one cleanses your hair. It's kind of like soap nuts, if you're familiar with soap nuts. It's basically a plant that is dried and made into a powder that cleanses your hair naturally. It's been used for, I think, probably centuries. I'm not certain of that, but it's a traditional thing that they use in India for their hair. And the benefit of using plant powders is that there are other nourishing elements to it that look after your hair. So a lot of these, like neem powder, you can use neem oil, and amla powder is from gooseberries, and all of these things, lots of people use them in their bodies, like actually consuming them, not the powders, but the oils or the actual fruit or the extract of the fruit, and that's good for you in other ways. And this is good for your scalp and for your hair because it's come from the ground, it's a plant, it's gonna have those nourishing vitamins and nutrients that will actually help your hair out. So basically I take 1 tablespoon of the shikakai, because that is the stuff that cleans your hair, and then I take 1 tablespoon of shikakai, yeah, and then half a tablespoon of amla, which is the stuff that conditions your hair. It also is great for any scalp issues, dandruff. It's anti-aging as well. I think apparently it helps with grey hair, which I am beginning to get. I'm 25 and I've got very dark hair, so I'm beginning to get grey hairs and I pluck them out. I know there's that saying that they say if you pluck one, 7 will come back in its place, and I'm beginning to think that that might be true, because I started to pluck them in one area and now in one area I have so many more than I did before. So I'm going to try and stop, but then what do you do because you can see grey hairs? Help me out. And then the neem powder, this is great for scalp issues and for dandruff, and that is why I actually decided to do these powders, because I was dealing with dandruff and white flakes pretty much the whole of my no poo journey. And if you've watched some of my videos, you've probably seen it or you've heard me mention it before in my other no poo updates. But I have already been talking for a long time, I can see on the thing. They're just really nourishing for your hair, they're great, and I basically just brew them up in a tea in those measurements, like I said, in 2 cups of water. I'll put the measurements here, because it's not very clear over here, but I'll put them over here, exactly what I do, and I brew them up. I basically bring a kettle to a boil, put the powders in, and then I sort of boil it for maybe like a couple minutes, and then I turn it off, put the lid on, let it steep overnight, and then I'll put it in a water bottle, and I just fill up the water bottle with water to top it up, and then I will use this. I've used this twice already, but it probably depends on your hair type how many times it will last you. It's gonna last me probably 3 times, maybe. I could have done it 2 times, it just depends on your hair type entirely, and I think over time I'll probably need to use less. Yeah, it's quite simple. I just pour this over my head, sort of at the front, down the back. I try and get in each area, scrub it, rinse it out. I try and rinse my hair to begin with hot water, and then when I'm rinsing it out I use lukewarm water, and then I finish with cold water. Let me know if that is what you think is the right thing to do. That's kind of what I think is the right thing to do, to sort of the hot water to stimulate the oil to come out, and then the lukewarm water so you're not irritating your hair too much with hot water, and then the cold water is supposed to seal the cuticles again. But let me know if that's wrong. I've also been using aloe vera. I'm going to link a different brand down below, because this is one I just picked up because I was rushing and I just found this and it was organic and cold pressed. But I know that there's a more well-renowned brand out there that I'm going to get next time, so I'll link that down below as well. And I got this because I wanted to help my scalp issues. I mentioned I was having white flakes and dandruff, I think because of water only, because my hair was definitely too oily for water only. I've talked about this in the past, but my transition was quite long. It was coming up to like the 3-month mark and my hair was still getting greasy, and there was still a very heavy, there's just a heaviness to the top of my hair, and I knew that that wasn't normal. And I think that the dandruff and the white flakes were caused by the oiliness of my hair, just irritating my hair overall. So I tried coconut oil masks, but the problem with that when you're doing no poo is that it's hard to wash out. Unless you have dry hair and your hair is very porous and absorbs the oil, it probably won't wash out very easily unless you use conventional shampoo, and even then, like, I'm not going to do that. And I think I used Castile soap a few times to wash it out, and it's still, my last no poo update, a lot of you were saying, oh my gosh, your hair looks really greasy, and that's because I'd used coconut oil the night before. Anyway, you use this on your scalp. I've just basically saturate my scalp in it, section it off. I've done that a couple times when my scalp was getting pretty bad with dandruff, and that's when I'd had enough, and I started to use chickpea flour and this shikakai powder and stuff, and it worked a treat. It dries overnight, so you can't see it the next day. The only thing is it kind of feels like you've got product in it because it's a gel. And yeah, and I've also made a little hairspray with the aloe vera gel, and this is basically just water. This is an old Lush bottle. It's just water, aloe vera gel, and some lavender oil to make it smell good. And basically all I do, because my hair is wavy, kind of curly, if I sleep on it, it does flatten out a bit and it looks kind of uneven and not the best. So I just spritz my hair in this. So I washed my hair yesterday morning. What day is it today? No, I washed my hair on Monday morning, and it looks really nice when it's just dried because it's all got the bounce and the curls. But this just sort of brings them back again. So I just spray this on my hair in the morning. I use quite a lot of it, and I also do spritz it on my scalp because I know that the aloe vera will condition my scalp and kind of ease the dandruff and the white flakes that I'm still experiencing, but I'll get onto that in a minute. But this is just so great as a product for girls who have curly hair or wavy hair, or you want your hair to have a bit of a sea salt, kind of like you've been at the beach look. I really like that look. I don't like my hair to look too neat. I feel like you can't really see it in this light. My hair is also really dark, so it's hard to see, but it just kind of makes it curly again. I'm really enjoying this method. I think that it's something that I feel like I found the method that I enjoy, and it's not too many products because I'm using these for multiple purposes, and these were so cheap. This is just a tenner, I think, as I said, for all three of those, and they're going to last me a while. So I really enjoy that it's like a minimal amount of stuff, and I'm not having to be buying new things and figuring things out anymore. I think it's going to take me time though to get rid of the dandruff that I'm still experiencing. This is the only negative thing. So the positive things that I've experienced, as I said, is hair growth, the fact that my hair doesn't get greasy anymore. Before when I was using apple cider vinegar, my hair would still be greasy. So this means after a week, my hair still isn't greasy. Like when I went to wash it this week, I was like, I don't really even need to wash it. It isn't greasy, which is amazing. So I could push it out to a week and a half. I haven't tried that yet, but I probably could. And also it feels really soft. It feels back to how it would feel when I used to use conditioner, or at least as far as I can remember. And also I'm not having any itchiness. When I was doing water only, apple cider vinegar only, I was experiencing some itchiness on my scalp. But the white flakes are still here. But I'm asking you guys a question, because before I had white flakes, I've mentioned this so many times, I don't think it's technically dandruff, because I think dandruff is it's like an actual skin condition where it's kind of yellowy and you can see it on your scalp. I am just experiencing dry skin the first day when I wash my hair. So today, I couldn't see any dandruff in my hair. I'm sure if I rooted through, I could probably find some. But the day of washing, I do get dandruff, and I can see it in certain areas. So before, when I was using apple cider vinegar, I could really see it on my parting especially, but now it's kind of moved over here, and certain patches on the back of my head I've got Alex to sort of inspect. It is going away. It's definitely not as bad, because just generally day to day I can't see it anymore, whereas before I could, but it still is there the day I'm washing. For you guys who've experienced this before, could you give me your 2 cents? Do you think that maybe I'm scrubbing too much in the shower? Because I will scrub this in a bit, I will kind of rub it in, and before I wash it, before I use the shikakai powder, I will kind of scrub at my hair. Do you think that maybe, I'm kind of feeling like maybe next time I do it, I'm going to try just pouring the shikakai in and letting it do its thing, and like only just slightly touching my head, because maybe that's irritating it. Another thing is, it could just be it's going to take time for it to go away, because I did do water only or no cleansing of my skin, my hair, for I think it was about 4 months, maybe 4 months, and that's quite a long time if your hair is still oily. So I think that maybe my hair was just oily for so long, it was itching my scalp and irritating it. And also when it comes to no poo, sometimes you just have to deal with the negatives for the long-term positives. So it's like short-term pain for long-term gain. So that's kind of, I think, the lesson that I'm learning when it comes to no poo. You have to kind of deal with some drawbacks for the long-term benefits, because if you think about it, you've been putting a lot of shit on your hair, but like I've been putting a lot of shit on my hair for 24 years of my life, and only in my 25th year have I decided to actually take care of it and leave it alone. So there's going to be some things happening and things changing, and if you're really lucky, then your hair will adjust perfectly well. But if you're maybe have a different hair type, oilier hair type, drier hair type, things, you might take time to figure them out. It's kind of, I think, why a lot of people give up no poo, because it is complicated to figure out what works for you, and it can be frustrating when things don't work out straight away. Just give it time. I've stuck at it and it gets better and better. There are still problems, but if I look back to when I was doing water only, like my hair is so much better. And also my dandruff has gone a lot. Like I can't see it today. So there are lots of benefits, and I think that it's only gonna get better after using this for a sustained period of time. I think with anything you need to give it at least a month, if not more, to see the results, and I'm only experiencing positive ones so far. And I think I've talked enough. I said that it would be a really short video and I've gone on and on again. I'm so sorry. It's really hard to like fill everything in because I know I'm trying to like answer your questions that you might have whilst I'm speaking. So let me know your questions down below, and then maybe next week I can film a Q&A to follow this up. I've been doing that most days I've done my no poo videos, and I want to answer your guys' questions. And I also don't want to deter anybody from no poo because I think it's the best thing that you can do for your hair. 100%. You just need to figure out what works for you. And I'm gonna say definitely check out the No Poo Facebook group. That has been a saving grace for me in my experience of no poo. I wish I had found it earlier because it has all the information you need to know about no poo all in one place. They have files on everything there is to do with no poo, which is a lifesaver. And that's where I discovered that using apple cider vinegar wasn't cleansing my hair and maybe wasn't the right choice for me because of my hair type. So there's only maybe a very small portion of people who can do water only or apple cider vinegar if you're lucky. I think it's people who have drier hair types who tend to benefit from that, and not curly hair either. I think curly hair has a bit of a hard time, the oil getting down the shaft. So yeah, just go over there and look on the files, and also leave a comment, leave a post on there if you're really struggling, or down below here. And also my Minimal Beauty Facebook group that I run myself, because that's a really nice community over there, and we can try and help you out if you're having any problems with no poo or any minimal beauty things in general. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I talked a long time again. I tried to be a bit more succinct this time. It's just my no poo videos are always really hard to make short because there's so much to get in there and talk about. But I'm loving the 6 month, well, my dogs are barking outside. I'm loving it so much so far at 6 months. My hair has grown so fast. I now have like mid-length hair. So before the 6 months it was like up here, so it's grown so much, and I feel like I'm gonna have long hair now for when I travel. I had this like vision, I really wanted long hair for when I go away. So I think that I'm gonna have the long hair that I asked for. I haven't had a haircut in so long. I need to get a haircut, but that's another video. I will see you in my next one. Leave me your questions down below and I'll film a Q&A for you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.